I know things you never see. You never see someone taking a shit while running at full speed.
Come on, kid, get rid of some of them turds in the shit box.
Welcome to the Bathroom Break Podcast with me, Rab himself.
You're saying he sabotaged the Kyle podcast so that his would be better.
TK you can always give TK, this is for anybody in the whole world. TK is always like 10% at fault of anything.
I mean, if there's something going down at Wonk, TK's got his hand in it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
No, it's my fault.
Oh, man. Can always blame. Always blame old TK.
Yeah, bro. Dude, the last time I was like a guest on a podcast, I had like a gash in my forehead.
From what?
From getting like a chair poked into my brain.
What?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I was doing stand-up.
Guess it went well.
Yeah. No, I was doing stand-up and I was like, I was just on stage. We didn't get paid, but we got paid in like drink tickets. And like I just found out I was having another kid too. So like I was like, oh man, like fuck, what am I gonna do? You know, like I was trying to make like this dream happen of like big time comedian, like or actor or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So I got fucking super drunk, and there was this guy that was in the audience that was like heckling everybody. This big old like big dude, big old Mexican dude. And so I'm like, I get up on stage. I'm like, I got this, guys. I'm gonna handle this heckler. I got this. I tell the other comedians, and all the other comedians are like little skinny guys and stuff. And I felt like I was like, I used to play football. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
I get up on stage. I say like one joke, and then I just look at the guy. I'm like, fuck you.
Oh man.
And I just stare at him like that. There's no joke. There was no joke. It was. It wasn't like I was witty and I got him. It was just like, fuck you.
Jesus.
And I just stared at him. He's like, what? I'm like, fuck you. And I'm like waiting for people to laugh because I thought it was gonna be funny, but it wasn't funny.
Oh.
And he throws a glass at me.
Jesus.
And I'm like, what the fuck? You're gonna throw a glass at me? Then he picks up another glass and he throws that at me. And I'm like, why don't you come up here? And he's like walking up the stage, and he grabs one of those chairs like a bar stool, but it's like the foot was like that.
Yeah.
And he just jams it right in my forehead.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And like I still like was ready to punch him, so I punch him and like we're going down and stuff, and like he's falling back. I'm coming after him, like he's kind of like running away a little bit because he's looking at me like he's like, oh shit, I need to get out of here because I just murdered this guy.
Yeah.
Like he's thinking he just killed me, but I'm still like I can't feel it because I'm like my adrenaline.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, come here. And I'm like tipping tables over and stuff like that. Come over, get over here. And I'm like chasing him out. The bartender says, get the fuck out. And I look down, I'm like, oh my God, there's blood all over me. And I thought I killed him.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, did I just punch this, like the blood out of this guy's face? And so I'm like, oh shit. And I run over to this Del Taco, and I'm like underneath the fluorescent lights. And I'm like, geez, I have so much blood on me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I do this, and I fucking, my finger goes like right to my like the edge of my skull, and I'm like, oh gosh.
And you found the hole where the blood was coming
I found the
from.
hole. I'll send you a picture of it. But like I told my buddy, it was like his first time ever doing stand up. Like this was he was like, I told him, come on out, man. It's fun. It's like, say a couple of jokes.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm hiding behind this Del Taco. I'm like, yo, pick me up. I'm right behind the Del Taco. He comes over and picks me up. My ex-wife, my wife at the time, but like my ex-wife, I was like, you can't tell her. You can't fucking tell her.
She's not going to notice this hole
like,
in my face.
I said, like, you can't tell her.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'm like, oh, fuck. When I got to the doctors and stuff, I'm like, I had to get stitches and stuff. I had 2 black eyes.
Oh, my God.
I had to coach football the next day. Like, we had a game the next day. So I had these big old fucking glasses on and, like, this patch. And all the players are just, like, looking at me like, what's up with him? He never wears a hat. And I was wearing a hat, like, to hide it. But I was like this.
Everything up.
And I remember, like, we were losing at halftime. And I was like, you guys got to go for it. This is like, we don't know when we'll have another chance. And I was like, take it off. I'm like, look at this.
Yeah.
This is me going after what I want. You do it. And I used it. And we still lost. Like,
This is me going after
this
my
is
dream.
me going after it.
So comedy is no laughing matter at this.
Comedy was. I wasn't good at it.
Oh man! Apparently, some guy wanted to beat you up over it.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it was nuts.
Welcome to the Bathroom Break Podcast. I'm Rab himself, and I'm sitting here with the infamous TK. We're talking about crazy comedy stories of getting holes in your forehead, and Jesus Christ. That's
I mean, it's
crazy.
not jackass stuff.
Yeah,
but like
close to it.
close to it. It's sadder than that stuff.
Yeah.
You guys laughed after it. I was just like,
Yeah.
maybe I should give up.
Man, I went and did a little, I guess you'll call it stand-up set the other day. It was more or less me just getting up and telling stories, and it went okay. I did one prior that was fun, and I got a lot of laughs, and the story that I told on that one got a lot of laughs, but this one was like, so. I told a new story. I didn't really know it, and it was like, but just the random stuff I was throwing out got some laughs. But then the story was hard because it was a hard venue. The place was like half bar, half the comedy thing, and so people were just talking the whole time, and you could just hear this chatter over it, and like the moments you're trying to kind of let it be quiet to laugh, you just hear all this chatter, and it sort of throws you off. And
The hardest places.
yeah, I've never done it, so like I had never done it really at all. I did it the first time, and that was at a real comedy place, and then this one was at like a bar, and so I hadn't gone through all of what it is to go to like, some bowling alley and try and make people laugh that are bowling. So that's really hard. So this one was kind of like that, and not to make any excuses, I just think that the story wasn't as strong as the other one, so that was probably why I didn't get as many laughs. But
Sometimes,
But,
like, you would change depending on where you're at. Like, at a bowling alley, you need, like, the shorter... Like, that story is probably perfect for, like, an intimate setting where everybody is, like, facing you,
yeah,
listening, quiet. Oh, I'm ready for this, like, 15-minute story. I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
Whereas in a bowling alley, you need, like, those quick hitters to be, like, somebody walking by, like, oh, that was a good joke. What's up?
yeah, that's exactly it. And I feel like I kind of learned that part of it the other day by kind of doing it there. So like, how did you, like, how long did you do the stand-up stuff for?
So I had my first child. So I was doing film stuff, and I was, like, doing music videos, trying to go to film festivals and stuff. Had a kid, took a year off, and then I decided, and I was in Orange County, so I was thinking, how do I continue to do this but staying in Orange County, because it's hard to do the film stuff. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
It's hard to go to auditions for acting. The only thing I could do was stand up. Like, the only way I can actually be seen, instead of doing like theater, which I did not like theater that much, because it's like you practice and practice and practice, and you're done, and then you do it, and then you're done with it forever. I like film because you keep shit forever.
Yeah.
Like, it's like time capsule shit.
Yeah.
So I waited a year after I had the kid, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm going to go back into it. And I started going to this place called Anchor Bar in Costa Mesa.
Yeah.
This was in like 2013. I didn't tell anybody, like, because the guys were already workaholics and doing all that shit like that. I didn't tell anybody, like, I went to college with them and all that shit. I didn't tell them that.
Yeah.
I was just going up, doing my stuff, and, like, I would do the open mics, and finally I got to go to the Irvine Improvs and stuff like that, and then everybody figured out, like, oh, you're that, these guys and stuff like that, so started getting a couple more gigs because, just fucking being around.
Yeah.
And, like, just, that's how I got into that.
So you've had the experiences of being in random bowling alleys and like little things
I have
like that,
had all those experiences.
Yeah.
There was a place called, not Hoagie Barmichael's. Was it Hoagie Barmichael's?
That's a great name.
Hoagie, it might have been, fuck, I'm going to call it Hoagie Barmichael's, but it's like, it's that exact thing where there's like 5 seats for people watching stand-up, then there's a big old bar over here.
Yeah.
And the only time you'll ever hear from the bar is when they're heckling you.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only time they ever turn like,
Yeah. And you're like, oh, great.
yeah.
So you mentioned the guys Workaholics and Kyle Newacek, and you are partners in Wonk, and so I wanted to kind of hear a little bit about that. You mentioned you went to school together, but so you went to film school.
I went to Orange Coast College and I took every single film
Yeah.
class they had. I really took it just because like I wanted to use the equipment.
Yeah.
Because when you take the film classes and it's like $15 to take a class,
Yeah.
you get to rent out the equipment whenever you want. So
Oh, nice.
I'm like, and at the time I had enough money to either buy a camera or a computer to edit. And so I'm like, I'm going to buy a computer to edit because I get these cameras fucking for free.
Yeah.
And like that's why we did that. And Kyle took maybe one film class. I didn't really know Kyle until like he moved to LA. I was really just hanging out with Blake and Adam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in the theater classes, in like improv classes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And what was that? It was mail order comedy was the...
This was before mail order comedy.
Okay.
Before mail order comedy, there was Instruments of Destruction,
Okay.
which is like we were the only people at Orange Coast College, I think, to ever get like our own improvised like Saturday Night Live type sketch show.
Yeah.
And so it was me, Adam, Blake, Teddy Spencer, he's dope. Jason Justin, that's about it. Oh, Chris Gear.
Yeah. So Adam Devine and...
Adam Devine and Blake.
Yeah.
And we wrote our stuff and performed it. Adam and I used to go to Groundling shows sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
Damn. Yeah.
and then they auditioned for Groundlings. Blake and Adam and Teddy auditioned for Groundlings. And we all auditioned together, right? Auditioned at the same time. And they got put in the fucking, like, next class up. And I got put in, like, the bottom class. And I'm like, fuck this. Fuck you guys thinking I'm, like, not supposed to be in an advanced class.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think I gave up. And I was like, I'm going to go make a music album. And then I, like, made, like, an R&B slow jam, like,
There you
CD.
go. Would you sing a little of that for us?
Oh, let's take a walk, girl. Yeah, I got you, bro. I'll sing the
Beautiful.
whole thing.
Yeah. No, well, and that's another funny part because, you know, you went on to make Rage and Beauty, which is such an awesome project. And you're a beautiful singer.
Thank you very much.
You really are.
Rage and Beauty came after like the most tumultuous time. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
So and Rage and Beauty is like has a direct correlation to me getting my head bashed in.
Oh, yeah.
Like direct correlation.
Yeah.
Because so I'm doing stand up and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it everywhere I can. So then I go to this Huntington Beach. That's where I got my head bashed in, is in Huntington Beach. After that, like, and I post the pictures and everybody's like, what the fuck's going on? What's going on? I also had my own show at the time. It was like TK's Comedy Takeover.
Yeah.
And I did it at these different bars, you know, and I do it because like, oh my gosh, I'm getting like $100 a night and I don't even have to, I'm just the host. All I gotta do is host.
Yeah. Sweet.
I was like the king. I felt like, oh my gosh, and like all these comedians are coming over to me like, yo, can I do your spot? I'm like, sure, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
After I got this thing happened to me, like I finally got like Adam and Blake's attention again because they were like, what the fuck are you doing down in Orange County? Like,
yeah.
Adam was like, I've done stand-up for so long, and that's never happened to me. Like, I've never heard of that happening.
How are you getting stabbed in your forehead?
How are you getting stabbed in your forehead on stage? I've never heard of that. So Blake came out to a show, and it's my shows were just crazy. Like, there'd be singing.
Yeah.
There'd be, like, if there's a homeless dude, I'd bring him out. Like, it was just like whatever was in the room, we just made it happen. Like, I'd eat pizza. Sometimes I'd do imaginary bench pressing, and I'd be like, come over, help me. Come on. I need your help. You know, like, come on. I can't hear you.
Me, bro.
Come on. And I'd get the audience to cheer for me to, like, lift, like, 7,000 pounds. Come on. Yeah. Come on. I did it. And then everybody would be like, yeah. So Blake came out to this. He's like, okay, that was something new. That was cool.
Yeah.
And he told Adam. And Adam's like, that's dope. This is when Adam had his show, House Party.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, man, I got this part. I wrote this part for you. Like, where you're like, I want to get you on my show, you know? I don't know about the stand-up, but, like, I do have a part for you. So I had to go and audition at Gotham. Like, this place called Gotham. It's like, it's a Comedy Central showcase.
Yeah.
And I'm doing my jokes, and my jokes are they're weird. They're just weird jokes. Like, one of them. I'll tell you one joke. What's up, guys? I got a tattoo. Y'all wanna know where I got a tattoo?
Where?
On my butthole. You wanna know what I got a tattoo?
What is it?
Of a butthole. And you know, I was thinking about getting it removed, but then I thought, how am I gonna take a shit?
Yeah.
Like that was the first joke I think I ever told on stage.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, there you go.
And I just, so like that's the stuff I did for my Comedy Central showcase. And so they're like, yeah, he's something. So sure,
he's something.
And they said he can't do the showcase. He can't do he can't do an act.
Yeah.
But sure, he can act in it. And so I acted in that.
Okay, yeah.
And man, when I got to that fucking place, I was so pumped. It was my fucking Eminem moment.
Yeah.
You know, you only get one shot.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, when the cameras are on, I'm gonna be 100% me. Like, let's do this.
Yeah.
You know, and just started yelling because like in the scene, I took over Adam's show because I'm like I'm the front yard comedian. All this shit is in the back. Yeah. And so I'm just like, and it was like right after Boston Celtics won the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
And so Kevin Garnett said, anything is possible.
Yeah.
And so I just went into that mentality. So like in that scene, I'm harnessing Kevin Garnett. like this fucking great basketball player.
Yeah. That was your inspiration.
That was my inspiration, you know?
That's awesome.
And so from that, Kevin Etten wrote a workaholic scene for me. I think it was him, Enders, Orders. And Durs told me about it at Comic-Con because we used to always go to Comic-Con together and just fucking party and like hang out with like fucking Suicide Girls. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I would. Like, no one else would, but like it was the best. Yeah. And I think, and how did we get the Rage and Beauty from that? So this is all in like this 4-month span.
So then they wrote a part for you on Workaholics.
Yeah.
And I've seen the part. It was like you were like the guy like entertaining at a kid's party.
Yeah.
And
because I did that too.
Yeah.
I actually did that. There's like, I'll send you these fucking pictures. I legitimately was in Aladdin. I got paid $100. Like anything that said,
Wait, in real life, you were
I
the
swear,
same guy?
I was an Aladdin interpreter. Interpreter? No. What's the word?
Impersonator.
I was an Aladdin impersonator. I got paid $100 to go to this party that was like all, I don't want to say the wrong nationality, but whatever nationality Aladdin is, these people wore that nationality.
Yeah.
So like I'm a white Aladdin sitting.
Yeah.
And I'm surrounded by this family that's like, okay, you're Aladdin.
Yeah.
And I even like a kid came down and sat with me.
God damn, I would love to see
I'll send you all these pictures, bro. That's
like
that was the
actual
inspiration,
one.
bro.
Yeah. Well, I love that they just kind of like, you know, obviously you've been buds with these guys for all these years, but I love that you're just going on living your regular life, and then they're like, we'll just pluck that from what this weird shit he's doing, and make it a part in the show, and that's I think you have that like that thing about you that's like that. It's just really funny, like where it's kind of you can't tell where the line is of who you really are and what you're putting on.
Oh,
you know, and that's what's really fun to watch. I talked a little bit about this with Kyle, but when we did the ping pong thing, I came out as the Hulk Hogan guy and was like, TK's a pussy, and then I saw like a little thing of you like, I'm not a pussy, bro, and I was like, oh, did he take that for real, or did he? And so I'm like texting you like, dude, I love you, and you're like, yeah, I know, like, and it's you playing up on that character, but it's so good that I couldn't tell, like, wait, is he being real, or is he playing this up? And so I think that line there is hard to tell with you, which makes it really funny.
And that's why I'm not successful, probably.
No, I wouldn't say you're not successful, dude. You're doing a lot of stuff with Wonk, and you know, and doing, you know, Rage and Beauty and
that's the line
hit.
That's the line that why Rage and Beauty, I should say why Rage and Beauty probably didn't hit. It's because like it is that line. It's like, what the fuck am I watching? Did Darren Aronofsky try to make a fucking
Yeah.
Like Comedy Central pilot. What is this?
I know, because it's sort of like, okay.
It
like,
never
go-
winks.
Yeah,
It never winks back. It's just dark.
Yeah.
Because we were so into because the wrestler did come out at the same time.
Yeah.
And Kyle and I were both talking like, I'm like, dude, you gotta get like an over the shoulder of me walking in. Like, we both were like, yes, dude, we're gonna get this. We were looking at dramas before we made this. We
Yeah.
weren't looking at comedies, but we were
Oh, yeah.
trying to make a comedy.
Yeah, but that's to me what's so good. I love the stuff that's off kilter like that. So like I told you when I first met you, like I'm a big TK fan because that stuff is great. Like I want to feel a little uncomfortable and then go into a laugh, rather than just like, oh, set it up, here it is.
Yeah.
Like I love that you're like, I don't know what I'm watching right now and I feel weird, and then you fall into the laughs about it, and then it becomes really funny and I think personal because the laugh becomes personal to me, where I go, I'm laughing at it for this reason. I don't know why you're laughing at it, but for me, I find this part of it to be funny, and that's with Rage and Beauty. If anybody's listening, you got to go out and watch Rage and Beauty, and you can find it on.
It's on YouTube. It's on our channel. It's the craziest show never made. We changed the title to that.
Okay.
It's still called Rage and Beauty. We actually called it Rage. We were trying to get it on a French platform.
Yes.
So
That's where it belongs.
I know. So we changed it to Rage et Beauté. Like
Yeah.
we there's
So beautiful.
there's posters that say Rage et Beauté.
Yeah.
Because we were like, we just want it out there. So it's like in some ways Wonk will never bow down to platforms, but in some ways we're like, please watch us, please watch us, just watch us.
Well, and it's funny because I mean, I saw it with you. My buddy Zach who is our friend. He's sitting behind the camera right now.
Yeah.
But he's mutual friends that introduced me to you and Kyle and all the guys at Wonk, and I got to sit down and watch it the first time I met you, and it was like, it's so good, man. I love it. So check out Rage and Beauty for sure, because it's just a funny thing, and then I mean, you've done so many other things. Mega Summer Hit. I just saw that probably right before the ping pong match. And it was so good because it really cleared up a lot of things for me.
It's just a movie of therapy.
Yeah,
Like that's all that is.
and that is another part where I say, like, it blurs the line between who you really are and then this character that you're putting on, and so you're kind of like, what? And I didn't know. So when your dad comes on, I'm like, this guy is just like TK. Like, is this really his dad? And then it was, and just the like animosity and the things that are happening there is so good and so funny. And I think I remember texting Zach like, wait, is this really his dad? Because it seems like it could really be his dad. Like, and they're like, yeah, it's like really his dad. So it's just so good. And then and then there's the crazy parts where they're trying to like show the stuff over at Kyle's place, and there's this big fight. And I mean,
Yeah.
the whole thing. Go watch that too. Mega Summer Hit. You can find all this on your website though too, right? Like on Wonk.
You could find it on Wonk. I would go to our YouTube though.
Okay.
Our website has turned like professional, so it's like not as fun.
Oh yeah.
It's still fun, but come to it. Sure, go to it.
Yeah.
But
so
go to YouTube though.
YouTube, Wonk on YouTube, but wonkinc.com.
WonkInc.com.
is your company and Kyle and you, Kyle's company, but then you're like the main producer dude that does all does a bunch of work, and so many cool things. I mean, what are you guys doing over there? You're doing commercials and stuff as well. Like,
Commercials, a lot of music videos. Like,
yeah,
we are a music video factory right now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Working with the dumb bitches with internet.
Yeah.
Fade up, fade out, bye bye. New dialogue. Oh man, the list goes on.
You did something with Childish Gambino at some point.
That was that was a while ago.
Yeah,
that was Adam Newacek and Kyle Newacek did that.
Yeah, that's rad, man.
That's super rad.
Yeah, that's cool. And dumb bitches with internet, man. Those guys are hilarious. They were the announcers for the ping pong.
Yeah.
And if you don't know about the ping pong thing, TK and Kyle started this celebrity ping pong tournament thing, and somehow I got involved with it and just acted a fool. And but the dumb bitches with internet are the commentators.
Yeah.
And they're hilarious. It's almost hard to pay attention to the game because they're so funny. Like sitting there just throwing out these lines, and you're like, man, I want to laugh at that, but I gotta focus on where the ball's going right now. So how was that little thing? I mean, it seems like I wanted to ask because like over here at Wonk, like I have infiltrated your studio and taken over your gear and done and made it the Bathroom Break podcast today.
Yeah.
But over here it's just so fun. Like it's just an atmosphere. Like damn, there's just fun stuff going on, and things just kind of. It's almost like an incubator because things just kind of happen and they start to grow here. Like the ping pong thing. I mean, we came over the first week and it was you guys doing it, and it was literally dumb bitches with internet. They were the commentators. Zach and I were doing the sound and camera, and you and Kyle and like you did it, and you were like, hey, we kind of want to start this ping pong thing where we're talking trash and doing press conferences, and then you start it, and then all of a sudden and now it's becoming a thing, and and it's so fun just kind of to see how stuff like is born and then starts to become something. And
it's the social media too. I mean, it's like we put stuff up, it's that spaghetti. You throw the spaghetti against the wall, see if it fucking sticks. And Kyle and I played. I mean, we got a pretty big response, like not a huge response, but like our fans, like people were like, yeah, like they were stoked on it. And so when it was like, oh yeah, Rab, let's replace me with Rab, let's see what happens. And it's just like fucking,
it was fun.
It's like it made it more fun, and like especially having Zach helping out to make the fucking lighting look dope and
the whole thing. And you can check out that those ping pong matches on Wonk YouTube.
On Wonk YouTube as well.
I mean, it goes live when we did that one, and then it just records it and stays there.
You can still see your comments if you made comments during it. Like the comments are part of the show for me. Like I'll rewatch it and I'll watch all the comments and see what people are saying. It's like that's part of it. It's super fun,
dude. It's so fun. And so like, do you feel like being at Wonk is like that? Like, I mean, we touched on a little bit like that you went to some classes, but I mean, it's kind of obviously always been your thing too. Like you've always been creative as as a younger person, and then kind of growing up. Is it rad to just be in an environment where I feel like it's sort of that incubator for creativity?
It's the perfect environment.
Yeah,
it's the perfect environment. I'm probably like, my whole life I've just been like, let's just do it, and then we'll figure it out after, like while we're doing it. Like let's film it. Like that's why I'm like not a theater guy, because it's like let's fucking film it.
Yeah, and
I'll fix it in editing, or like
we'll learn.
We'll learn, and the next one will be dope. Like let's just film it. And so like that's what we are here at Wonk. Kyle adds the Kyle makes sure that we're doing some quality shit.
The professionalism stuff.
Professionalism. He's like, okay, like
here's how we
that's
take it.
Cool.
To
let's
that.
focus maybe this way. Let's have a little focus, because I'm like, I want to fucking just do everything.
Yeah.
Like anybody that comes in, because everybody that comes in here is like talented.
Yeah.
Like everybody, because it's just.
Well, it kind of like it kind of attracts that because there is that feeling here of like, oh, dude, I want to go over there and just fuck around, and I see that, like you mentioned, you guys you're putting out a lot of music videos right now, like Fade Up, Fade Out, Bye Bye is coming out
Thursday.
Yeah, on Valentine's Day, and so I mean, the band's hanging around here. You're shooting videos. Where do you shoot in the studio area a lot, or do you?
Well, now we do. We've only been in this space, I think, for like six months.
Okay,
6 months. No, not even 6 months. Like 3 or 4 months, huh? Yeah, like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
So, and it's constantly moving. Like I feel like we have a good space. Like even the live stream has changed. Like from the ping pong, you could see the evolution of our live stream from the ping pong.
Yeah.
Ping pong had one camera, and the other one had fucking 4 or 5 because we got a switcher.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
It's great.
And it just keeps growing. Yeah.
Yeah. we saw that the ping pong was like something people liked and were having fun with. So it's like, okay, now let's invest into a switcher. Before, we tested it with Kyle and I. And it's like, let's just keep doing this live stream stuff and doing the music stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my goal is to have one music concert series a month and one comedy live stream a month. Whether that's ping pong, fucking horse,
Yeah.
like playing cards,
Yeah.
like a boxing match. I don't give a fuck. Like,
yeah.
we can mess around with that, but like any bands that want to roll out and be on the Wonk live stream, hit me up.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And how do they get a hold of you? On.
I shouldn't put my phone number out, right?
No. I mean, like on Instagram.
You could go to our website, go to wonkinc.com, and you can get to our email there. You can contact us there.
Cool. And then do some live stream music.
Yeah.
That's right. So thinking of that, like you are actually a really good singer. So do you still go in that direction and make music, or?
I love to. I want to. It's just there's a lot to do here at Wonk, so it's like it's hard to
carve out that time.
And I don't want to. I think that was like probably growing up. That was my problem. Was that like just lack of focus? Like, I want to sing, I want to dance, I want to act, I want to direct, I want to edit. Like right now, I'm trying to just be behind the camera, dude, behind the thing stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously, if I'm needed in front of the camera to make it doper, I'll be in front of the camera.
Well, it always makes it doper when you're in front of the camera.
Studio City Kings, like if I have to, sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's another project that's really awesome, and you can see that. Can you see that on YouTube too, or is that only on?
I took that off.
Okay.
It's not on our YouTube right now. It might be back on soon because we might have just sold it.
Oh wow.
So it's like I'm just being careful that I don't hurt the selling of that.
And so Studio City Kings, like explain that a little bit.
It's a crime drama. It's a crime web series drama.
Yeah, which is a little bit different from like all the comedy stuff that you guys usually
That started
do.
out as a comedy though.
Yeah.
Like it started out as me, Ryan Maximilia, and Oliver Rayon in Orange County. I hired another comedian to shoot it. Like just somebody with a camera, not anybody like he's not a DP, he just had a camera. I'm like, "Can you shoot this?" And so we shot 3 scenes. And it's a comedy, and I gotta find it because like Zach, did you ever see that, Zach? It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's hilarious how far it came from that to this, because it's like we're like talking like this. Hey, oh well, look at this. Oh, you think that's And Kyle saw it, and Kyle's like, "This is cool," and we had a conversation, like all 4 of us, like what should it be, And it was like let's see if we can make it real. Like instead of acting like these guys, like let's not make it a comedy.
Yeah.
And we leaned into it and made it a drama.
Yeah. So was that cool to kind of find that voice, like I think within yourself when like normally you're used to being goofy and kind of playing that. Was it a stretch, or had you done a lot of drama stuff?
I've done a lot of drama stuff. Like all the stuff I directed was always dramatic. In college, like I don't think I ever did a comedy. It was all dramatic. Yeah, and so part of that getting done was like Zach.
Yeah.
Like Kyle got me in touch with Zach, and we started talking, and we ended up meeting up at Birds off Franklin Street, and I'm meeting this camera guy, and he's bringing Ryan Hosking too. Yeah. And we looked them up on IMDb, and it's like, oh, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Oh, The Revenant. And and me and my buddy Ryan were just like junior college guys.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are we meeting right now? Because we looked it up right before they came down to sit, and we're just like, who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah. These guys are legit.
These guys are so legit. Like, what the like, this was something we were just talking like this before. Now it's like The Revenant and Keeping Up with the Kardashians is doing this shit. Like, Hell's Kitchen and stuff. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
For real, because that was like, we thought we were just going to be doing like the same thing we did up there.
Yeah.
Then the first day came around, and we shot it at Oliver's house, and Oliver has this like little apartment, and I'm not really ready for anything. I'm just ready to shoot by the hip. It's like I'm shooting this like little Indian stuff.
Yeah.
Like we'll have one camera. Maybe we'll have lights. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have lights. Fucking Zach comes up. He's like, oh no, we need some production value. Like he has like a crew of like there had to be 13 people there.
Yeah.
13 people. I'm expecting just him, by the way. Him and Ryan.
Yeah.
And that's it. And so it's like that day I'm like, oh wow, I have to prepare more. Like I was like so overwhelmed that day because I was not ready for it. I was ready just to be like,
I just gotta step into this thing.
no lights. I was not expecting lights. I was like, oh, I guess we can light it. For real. I wasn't there yet. I was like, let's just shoot it.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, and so then it just became real and professional quickly.
Professional, and now I'm like used to being. From that, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And every day it was like, you got to be more prepared. Don't get caught unprepared.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool point of like how you kind of play to your competition. Like where if it's like a sports team and they're pretty good and they play the worst team in the league, they'll kind of play down to it. And then if it's like an average team that plays the best, they like play up to it. You know, and I think like that really kind of helps because if your mindset is like there's a great there's something to be said about just throwing yourself in the fire and just going for it and doing it because I have that mentality too, and I think that's what the CKY stuff and those things were just like, who cares, just film it, and as it evolves it starts to get more production value and become bigger and shot better and I think that happens because then you start playing to the people that are at that higher level of production value. And so they help you get better at that. And then all of a sudden, now you look back and go, I wasn't going to put lights? Like, what am I, a fool? Like, now,
crazy.
Because when you see how good it looks, just, putting a little bit of that effort into it. And then, and these guys are professional and they know what they're doing. So when you have them and they're doing that, you're like, man, why was I ever doing it the other way?
Yeah.
Now, okay. But with that being said, I feel like throwing yourself into the fire is what gets you to that point.
Yes.
So like how do you get there unless you shoot a couple of those dumb scenes? Kyle's like, hey, that's got something to it. And let me introduce you to Zach and Ryan. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, and it's all because you threw yourself in the fire with a couple of those little scenes.
Yeah.
If you didn't do those couple little scenes, it'd be nothing. Nobody'd be talking about it. We wouldn't be watching Studio City Kings.
No.
So
yeah.
it's just cool that it kind of takes off, and I think that brings back to my point a little bit about how Wonk is that way. It's like it's inspiring because I just met you guys 6 months ago, but it's like it's inspiring because it reminds me of the days of CKY where it's sort of like you can relate it to the improv world of yes and instead of like, hey, I want to film this. Oh, that'll never work. It's like, hey, I want to film this. Like, oh, cool. Well, how do we do it? Like there's that like contagious kind of outlook here, and it's really cool to see that and start to be a part of it with the ping pong thing, and and we're talking about filming some skits together, and that's really neat because that environment is what creates really good stuff.
Yeah.
Just the positive like. Okay, even if it sounds like you don't know what you're doing or whatever, and there's, it's like, this is going to be a disaster. It's like, let's film this beautiful disaster.
Yes, yes.
And see what happens as it goes.
Yeah, I love that shit, man. I used to watch the fucking Bad Girls Club.
That's where I met Zach. Yeah.
Bad Girls Club?
Yeah.
Homie, you never told me you worked on the Bad Girls Club.
Yeah.
That's where you guys met?
Yeah.
For real, though, that used to be my favorite show. I love that drama stuff. I love it so much. I love real drama. I love real drama, even if they're acting, even if I could tell it was scripted.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. I love it so much. Like, that's what Make a Summer Hit was. Make a Summer Hit was me, Kyle, and I getting in a fight. Like, it wasn't a fight. He's like, yo, it was just a text message. Like, I'm just going to describe one scene. He's like, yo, man, you got to stop, like, tweeting at all these celebrities. Like, you tweeted at Ron Howard. What are you doing? It was just a tweet or just a text message.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, we got to film this.
Yeah.
And so we went over to his house and we filmed like an actual fight about it.
Yeah.
So I
That's
guess
awesome.
I guess it didn't
Yeah.
have a script. Mega Summer had a
started,
script.
yeah.
It was a fucking text message script.
Yeah, but that's what's so cool about it, is it grows from that.
Yeah. So much
Man.
fun.
Yeah, hell yeah. So what's next for TK?
Trying to do more music videos. Trying to get the live stream going pretty good.
I mean, that's Wonk stuff, but I'm a TK fan. I want to know.
TK is wrapped in Wonk right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
TK is shrouded with Wonk. You know, like I did just shoot this like little trailer that's gonna be dope. And
Nice.
it might be a movie. Who
Hell
knows?
yeah.
Like,
all right.
Just doing stuff.
I feel like you need to do an album with that angel of a voice you have there.
I'll get back to that.
Okay.
Like George from Dumb Bitches, like we might be working on something.
Okay.
I feel like he got some Dr. Dre in him for real.
Hell yeah.
But like for R&B stuff.
Yeah. So it's gonna be some have some sex to it kind of music.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm getting horny right now just thinking about
Especially finding out like now being oh yeah, there we go. Finding out like being on this side of it and finding out how much money like motherfuckers get for like to have if you have a like a song on a movie, like it's fucking a lot of money.
it. Yeah.
Like it's like a year's worth of salary for somebody,
Most people.
like
yes.
for most people.
Yeah. I know, it's crazy.
Crazy.
So that's the goal is be the R&B hit king for movies, and then just sit
Yeah.
back and count that shit up.
Count that cheddar. Just like, just put me over the credits on every song,
Yeah.
on every movie, and I'll sing you out. Like, you know how Will Smith used to do it? Like, he used to have, like, every movie he was in.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to do it in the R&B version, though.
There you go.
You know? Here come the
Sultry.
man in black.
Yeah.
You know? I could do that.
Hell yeah. Nice, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on the Bathroom Break podcast and mixing it up a little bit here.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that sultry R&B movie hits that are coming from TK.
Get ready for it. Do not show that.
Show it.
Do not show that. No. I'm trying to, for real, don't.
All right,
that
cut.
could get me in trouble. Yeah. That's dope. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me out.
Dude, yeah, hell yeah. Awesome.